You're watching Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. It's the only podcast offering unfiltered guidance and direct advice for anyone in the financial services and wealth management industry. Learn more today at eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcast. And now, here's your host, Frank LaRosa.
Hey everybody, welcome to Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. I am your host, Frank LaRosa, and joined here once again, with the president of Elite Consulting Partners and co-host of Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa, the one and only Dale Dempsey.
I love it. Co-hosts. Love it.
Co-host.
Howdy, y'all.
How's it
doing?
So
man.
for those of you
Great.
that are listening, you can check out our YouTube our YouTube show, and you'll be able to see us and some of the wackiness that we today we're both wearing suits, or jackets at least. It's not really suits, but this is like the stiff version of us now. Right?
Don't worry, if you're only audio on this one,
you're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today's an interesting episode, and this is something that Dale has been keeping a tally of, and so it's going to be quite interesting to see where this thing goes. But we're going to do a little bit of Mad Libs today. For those of you that are old enough to understand what that is, the younger generation may not know what we're talking about. So anyway, I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to give it over to Dale, and he's basically had a list of, I don't want to call it wish list. It's sort of like a wish list of things that we've come across with advisors, where we get the proverbial what I really need to make a move is I need this, or that, and I don't know if there's anything out there, but this is what I really could use. And so Dale has sort of kept a list because he likes to keep lists of things.
Yeah.
But it also just goes into how we've been able to solve those problems for advisors. So why don't you, Dale, floor's all yours.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. We so actually, really, we asked advisors the question. I wish fill in the blank there. I wish my firm blank, and the responses were, I haven't seen all of them, so this will be
all right.
I might have to skim over some of these, but
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's start right here from the top. So actually, we rank these by how many we got.
Okay.
So number one, I wish my firm had more capital to buy advisors' businesses, and I think this is probably leaning towards succession opportunities.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess give us some details on this, but the answer is yes. There's a lot of firms out there that do this, right?
Yeah, there are, and I think that it depends on the audience, right? It depends on who's asking that question. If you're at a wirehouse firm or a retail W-2 firm, they have capital, but not necessarily for you. Right, like the capital that they're gonna have is to recruit advisors to the office. Eventually, they'll have capital on a succession plan, but the way I look at those things is, yes, the firm is giving the capital to you, so you're now managing a book twice the size for a number of years. Let's just say it's twice the size, right? But half of that revenue that's being generated is going to the retiring advisor, right? And it's great for the retiring advisor. But you're, for a period of time, several years, working on more clients with more clients, and you're really not making that much more money. So it's a little bit of a shell game, right?
What about maybe private equity firms trying to get into the space? I don't know. Do you see that as an upside for the advisor in these situations, or am I way off on saying something?
So private equity firms, I like to say there's private equity firms and then there's private investors.
Okay.
Private equity firms, yes, they have capital, and you might be at a firm, or you're talking to a firm, right? Really, you're talking to a firm that says they have private capital to help you buy a business, but when you sort of look under the hood, what that really means is that they are buying the business on your behalf. Okay, they're giving you what tends to be a lower payout because they want a return on their money, right? But then they say, yeah, but we own the book.
Oh, right. This is the difference between investing in you as the advisor versus looking for immediate returns and investment purely on themselves.
So I'll give you one more example. So Ameriprise, and I'll just talk about them because I just did a phenomenal call with John Cutton from Cutton Wealth Management, who's a very, very large Ameriprise independent group. What Ameriprise does, as an example, and there are other firms that do this. I'm not putting Ameriprise on its high pedestal, right? But they will give money to, unlike at a retail firm, they'll give money to the advisor. So they'll basically use the capital that Ameriprise has on behalf of the financial advisor, the buyer. But the buyer only has to repay back 75% of the loan, right? So it's a loan, right? And it's could be $1 million that maybe the buying advisor doesn't have that kind of money to do. So Ameriprise will give the capital. What Ameriprise does that a lot of firms don't do, most firms don't do, is they discount the repayment, right? So most firms say, oh yeah, no problem. You can use our capital. Here's $1 million. You owe us back $1 million, right? Ameriprise says you only owe us back $750. So that helps. Yeah. But anyway, that's a sort of a
that's a good.
The point. The moral of the story is there are lots of ways that firms provide advisors capital. Be mindful. What's that old expression? Drawing a blank about beware of gifts. Guys coming with gifts or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh right. I know exactly what you're saying with that.
If it sounds too good to be true, it generally is. We've had some situations recently where it sounded too good to be true, and it generally is not coming to fruition there. But there are lots of ways to skin that cat and provide capital. But what is it? Providing capital means something different to every single firm. That's all.
All right. So this was a close second. I wish my firm, and somebody probably said this perfectly, so we took that one. I wish my firm had a way to let us allocate 1% to 5% into crypto.
Yeah, we've been getting that a lot. You sort of dealt with that. Why don't you handle that? Because you've dealt with that, and I'm asking that quick because I don't really still understand the whole thing, and Dale does. So I'm like kicking the can. Kicking the question.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert.
But
really what I've found is
we helped somebody with that recently, right?
Yeah, it comes in three major flavors. There's a lot of firms will offer crypto funds, right? So these are some of these have DSIPs. Right. Yep. And these are things that you can just allocate right into.
It's an ETF.
They have ETFs. They have the other flavor is private placements. Mm-hmm. Right. So there's quite a few that are doing that. I think there's actually more firms that are doing private placements than funds. And then you have like you're giving advice and actually managing a crypto wallet, which is like direct. Frank's shaking his head. No.
I don't understand that.
Well, that's really like
my 18-year-old son tells me about his wallet. I don't understand. I'm like, well, is it a wallet that you put in your pocket? Like, what is it?
It's
I'm getting there, but not quite yet.
It's the equivalent. The way I think about it's the equivalent of
like PayPal,
getting into your client's checking account and being able to manage their cash for a fee.
Didn't we move an advisor that wanted to? Or had a private fund, like a private crypto fund.
Yes, that's true. They had, and it was a hedge fund. That bought and sold crypto. So
that was one of those where the guy came to us and said, "I don't know if I can even make this move. This is what I'm looking for."
Yep.
And we, to your credit, and Stacy Frank.
Stacy really spearheaded that.
Found the solution. I think. So that's cool.
Well, yeah. So the answer is there are solutions for all of the above. Yeah. Thankfully, but really very few that will let you manage crypto funds directly in a wallet. You're really getting into a different space there.
There are solutions out there, which is the moral of that story. There are solutions out there. Don't think, and we'll keep reiterating this message. If you're at your firm, you're unhappy because you want to do something, and the firm has told you can't do it, right? You can't do it is a different answer than you can't do it here.
Right.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
That's two different answers.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't do it or I can't do it here.
Yeah.
So, that's why I think people come to us and they ask us like, hey, I don't know if this is possible. Can I do this or that? What's the next one?
Wish my firm had Docusign. I laugh when I say
Yeah, I know.
Well, nowadays, like who doesn't have? I wonder what firm that advisor is at, but
there are some firms.
Table stakes,
look, there are some firms. It's almost like table stakes now, and I think that the pandemic really pushed that needle. It's like Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, you book an appointment with somebody, and you have to ask them. So, are we doing an actual phone call or is this a Zoom? Right? Because I think default now is like Zoom. So you have to.
There's a phone call link and there's a video link. Actually, we just ran in that today. That's funny. Hey, by the way, I have noticed. So Docusign exists.
Right.
A lot of times it's firm policy. I have noticed some cases where, compliance or the attorneys get involved and say, yeah, we don't really want Docusign as part of our ACAP process or whatever it is.
Well, that's important too, because when advisors make a transition, the more documents you can have via Docusign or sort of e-signature, right, the better. And there are some firms out there still that require paper, wet signatures.
Yep. Which
is crazy, but it's not that it doesn't work, because it still works. I'm sort of an old school guy. I did it the paper way, right, in file cabinets, and you drop paper, documents and all that. But I think nowadays the clients have become now trained better how to use technology, and e-sig is one of those. Back in the, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, or with the pandemic, it's gone by so fast, maybe 3-4 years ago, one of the biggest concerns with a Docusign or an e-signature was, my older clients won't understand how to do it, and they're not going to sign in the right places, and it's going to be a problem, and it's going to go to their junk mail and all that stuff. We've sort of moved beyond that. So
right.
What's the next question?
Yeah. Wish my firm had competitive lending options.
Yeah. That's one that, and again, like when an advisor says that to us, I say, well, it just depends on, do you want to get paid on it or not paid on it?
Ooh, that's a great point.
Right?
Yeah. Big category, small category.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, there's two views on that. My view has always been lead with lending. We did a podcast on it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Lead with lending. Don't worry about getting paid on it or not.
Right.
Lead with lending, because it's going to bring you a ton more assets.
Yeah.
Right. It's much easier to make a phone call to an ultra high net worth client who, I'm telling you, is borrowing money. Like.
Oh, 100%. And that's how they became that large.
Right.
So yeah.
You're getting rates, single digit rates right now, 3%, 4%, 5%. Well, if you're a sophisticated investor, you know that you can borrow at even 5 and turn that at 15 or 20. You're going to do that all day long. So the question really is about going to that client and saying, hey, how can I help you improve your lending, right? Let me improve your rate. Let me lower your collateral requirements. Those types of things. You're giving something, you're providing a solution to an ultra high net worth client without asking them, hey, move your $1 million account over here, or $10 million account over here. If you can provide them a 0.5 point lower on your rate and lower their collateral requirement from 85% to 65%, right? And you say to them, but I need you to move over $10 million, they'll do it.
Sure.
Because they know real fast how much money you're saving them. So
yeah, in some cases I've seen, like you're shopping multiple rates for a client.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's becoming more and more common, and not just my quote unquote, my firm has this rate, we can match, or what. You're going out really on the client's behalf to the street and being able to match rate.
Yeah, and you're better off, if you're at a firm that's multi-custody, right, you have the better opportunity to do that versus if you're at a wirehouse firm or retail and it's their lending terms and that's it. It's not that they're not going to be competitive, but if you look at why are RIAs and independent financial practices, one of the reasons why they're growing faster is because they could be more competitive and stuff like that. Not only advisory business, but lending as well. And again, if you lead with lending, it attracts the big assets.
I wish my firm had unlimited product. Well, I mean, you can't get every
Yeah.
manager on platform. I wonder if this came from an advisor who's, like at a captive firm. Maybe they have to use a certain insurance product or.
Yeah, I think that without knowing who that was, well, what I hear in that, if I read between the lines, it's probably an advisor that's at a firm that's more conservative in terms of what products they're allowing on the shelves or not. Some of that could be what are those product providers paying them to be on the shelves?
Oh, great point. Yeah.
Right. What kind of residual payments and I'll just call it shelf space that they're paying for. And we see that there are certain firms out there that aren't. If you're an advisor that does a lot of alternative product business, private placements, you're not going to Ameriprise, right? Like that's okay. It's nothing wrong with Ameriprise. It's just that you're not the right firm. And so if you're asking that question and you're at a particular firm, there's probably a better solution for you. You just have to understand what you're looking for, right? And then articulate what you need and how it's going to help you. And then we can help you find it. I think advisors need to be careful with I call it a need to have, a want to have, and a would like to have, right? I would like to have, so that's the third tier, right? I always tell advisors to be really careful with that stuff because that's the cool sounds. It's like the shiny object. It's but if it's not a core part of your business, maybe it's not for you, right? But if it's a gotta have, like it's a non-starter, I deal with ultra high net worth clients, and I need a strong lending platform. I need to be able to do commercial lending. I need to be able to do collateralized loans. I need to be able to do non-recourse loans, right? There are certain firms that won't do a non-recourse loan. So if that's a core part of your business, then absolutely. But if it's like, hey, I knew a guy once, and if I had a lending capability, I could have maybe gotten that client. That's you're not moving to a firm because of that.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. I wish my firm had transparency on pricing.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of ways we can go with this one.
Yeah, that's a tough
one. But
one.
look, there's some benefits to, like just streamlining what you do as a business, as an advisor. And then there's like the unbundled version of the world where you get stuck on a line item, But look, for this, the answer is there's a lot of firms out there where you can literally get down granular to the cost on everything.
That's right. So what I would say is be careful what you wish for. How many times have we talked to an advisor that wants to go independent, right? So they're W-2 and they're like, yeah, the firm's taking 60 cents of every dollar and I don't know where the money's going and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go independent because there's so much more profit in there. And then we take them, not that we take them independent, but we go through a pro forma. So we'll have our CFO, we'll get on the call with them and walk them through pro forma of all the line items that is required to run a business, right? And sometimes it overwhelms them.
Oh yeah, as it should, because it can be overwhelming.
There's like 37 line items, and they're going, and then they start feeling like, oh, I'm going to be nickel and dimed, right? It's the opposite. So you have to figure out, why do you care?
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
Why do you care? There are some firms out there that it's not that they're not transparent. So like Stiefel, for instance, right? They just came out with a new independent model, which is pretty interesting, right?
Right.
But one of the smartest things that they did is they essentially are giving you one number to run the practice and a small like tech fee, which is nominal, and a marketing fee, right? But it's pretty much
one number.
It's a payout.
Right.
And in that payout is whether it's an admin fee, a ticket charge, it's all baked in, right? I mean, LPL is doing something similar with their strategic wealth model.
Yep.
But that's really the answer to that question, right? Let's be transparent. Okay, well, be transparent. Here's your top line number, and that's it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I love it.
So one more.
Well, Yeah, I wish my firm had a way to go 1099. So I guess this advisor
Well, I just answered that, right?
Well, okay,
so that's the advisor that is at a W-2 firm that understands. He's at a W-2 firm. He probably or she probably doesn't want to do a hell of a lot of lifting.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
I've been here for long enough to where it would take a massive amount of resources.
I want to sit in my chair, but I want to be able to go 1099 and get the tax advantages. There are some firms that are out there that do that, right? It's just, again, you have to figure out what exactly are you asking.
Hey, let's last one. I wish my firm had client leads.
And client leads. So I guess for the record,
referrals,
I guess Dale didn't like the answer to my last one.
No, I like. Well, I didn't want to be redundant, but
okay, right.
I mean, this one's a little bit unique, right? So
client leads.
Yeah, my first thought is, all right, so you want client leads. Well, there's a cost to that, but but that's good because there's plenty of firms out there that have that, whether it's CPAs or
So we've gone through that. Yeah, we gone through that, and there's some. I'll call them. I'm not going to call them private equity firms. I'll call them aggregators, right? Where they're going out and buying up other firms, and one of their pitches is not the CPA kind of thing, right? But one of their pitches is you're going to come on board here, and we do all this marketing, and we get inbound lead flow, and we provide that lead flow to you, right? Which sounds awesome until they tell you what the payout is on that lead flow, right? It's a lower payout than what you normally be getting, and the firm might own the client, right? Because they're going to say, well, we're paying for marketing and SEO search and all that stuff,
right?
So we're going to give you lead flow,
right?
But we own the business, and again, there's nothing wrong with that either, as long as you understand what your wish list is. It's like asking a genie in the bottle the right question.
Yeah. Your expectations are that. I mean, actually, so if your firm's giving you client lead flow, your expectation should be that they own the clients in the agreement and that they're getting revenue for providing that. But if your question is, I wish I had a great marketing team to generate client interest and lead flow, well, yeah, there's firms out there that that provide
much
just
more
that.
broad, right?
Yeah.
Look, I think the moral of the story here for everybody, there's a couple things, right? Is number one, don't think that there's not a solution to what you're looking for, right? One of the reasons why we work with so many firms is because we want to make sure that we never come across an advisor who says, I wish I could do this, right? And we then come back to them and say, we couldn't help you. Like, it's never happened.
It's never happened.
It's never happened. And I hope it never will happen, knock on wood. But that's number one. I would say number two is be careful what you wish for, right? And understand why why you're wishing for it. Is it because it's a cool, nifty sort of idea, right, that you can talk about when you're playing golf with your buddies? Or is it something that's really going to be accretive to your business? Because that's really what it comes down to. And then number three, and this is definitely self-serving, right? Work with a firm like ours that's going to help you walk through the opportunities, but more importantly, help you peel the onion back and question you about why, right? What I think what we do really well, I think, is we get you to understand, and anybody you're working with, this is what you should be doing. Really get you to think about what you're saying, right? Like, let's think about that, to your point. Is it that you're looking for someone to hand you leads, or are you really looking for someone to really just provide a better branding and marketing support team for you to sort of do your own thing? There's a difference, right? And there are different firms that fit into those two different buckets, right? Because the one firm that provides leads, they're probably not going to help you with much branding at all, because all of the branding effort that they have is going to go into their own brand, not your brand.
Yeah, and we're hoping our contribution to that is helping you figure out which one is best for you and your ongoing vision for where the business is headed.
Which is ultimately what our goal is. So I appreciate that, Dal. That was awesome. That was quite interesting. Keep the list going. Thanks everybody for joining us. Good call, good conversation again, once again with Dale Dempsey. Don't forget, if you're listening to us on our podcast, you should go check out the YouTube channel, Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. Just if nothing else, just to see what our makeshift little podcast looks like. But we are building a new one, so it's going to be pretty exciting as we continue to expand our office. Don't forget to leave a comment, 5-star rating, smash that like button. And we appreciate it very much. Thanks for all the emails, all the support, all on social media. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at franklarosa.elite, or Elite Consulting Partners as well on Instagram and Facebook. And we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching Advisor Talk with Frank LaRosa. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out some of our other episodes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you back here next week.